bothers me because recently I was reading something from the Fourth Estate, and this was published on August 22, 2021, written by one of Ghana's brightest public intellectuals. And it says, on the face of it, the public financial management situation in Ghana is alarming. In the so-called ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, what you might call the core government category, the irregularities have moved from 64 million US dollars in 2011 to 366 million in 2020. It continues, more than a five-fold increase. Depending on how you tally the numbers, the total waste in the Ghanaian public sector suggested by the reports exceeds either 1.5 billion US dollars or 3 billion US dollars per audit cycle. When you have this as it stands, anything that requires government to spend money is very questionable. And this is where I worry about Parliament. And this is where I also worry about parliamentarians being appointed to become ministers. Because like I said, there is no free lunch. You're a parliamentarian who's been voted for by your constituency to represent their interests. And then the executive gives you a post. Now you must kowtow to the executive so that you can get the perks that you desire. Do you continue serving your constituents, or do you now serve the presidency? How do you question the presidency? Because you're supposed to help the presidency ensure that we get value for money. You're supposed to question the things that the presidency is doing. You know, 4 estates we have. The executive, that's the presidency. The legislature, that's the members of parliament. The judiciary. And we, the press, who represents the average citizens. Now, if you in the press also now become appointees of government, then you must also declare that I am leaving this sector to now become a government communicator. Let us not demand this only of our parliamentarians. Let's do it across board. Same with the police. If the executive appoints you the police head, the truth is, you will do the interests of the one who appoints you. The appointing authority cannot be neglected. You know, so let's all stop, jumping around and dancing around and, jumping through hoops and talking about, oh, no. But once you get the authority, if power is for sale, sell your mother to obtain it. Once you get the power, there are so many ways of getting her back. The appointing authority has more power than you. So if we really want to question the expenditure as it stands today, why are we asking for further expenditure from the executive, which parliamentarians cannot check and which we know is continually wasteful? I don't think we're at the point where we can finance political parties. Prof. Jinde, maybe another 35 years. Slow down.
If we slow down. Oscar, do you think it's time that we start putting money into political parties?
Absolutely not.
2 words.
You see, because I don't ask you to go and set up any political party. It is
your private interest.
It's your private interest. You understand what I'm saying? It's not by force.
It's J by force.
It's J by force. So what are you wanting the public purse for? No. You have followers. If you're telling me you want to be president of this country, you want to be a parliamentarian, and you cannot raise your own resources from your own followers, you have no business being in the office.
What time?
You have absolutely no business whatsoever coming to look over taxpayers' money. None whatsoever. So you should have the capacity that if you have 1 million followers in your party, let them pay dues.
One city.
And let them. But that's what if every day 1 city from each member is 1 million cedis a day.
One time.
It's basic mathematics. So stop looking for the cheap, easy way out of targeting money that is sitting down there somewhere. No, work. Get your people to, and nobody wants to belong to a party pay dues, and doesn't have the right to vote. So the issues of reforms and just a handful of delegates having the right to vote will come into question. Because me, if I'm going to pay my dues and somebody else will vote on my behalf, I don't think that is right. If I'm contributing to the purse of the party and the upkeep of the party, I should have a right to vote.
You should have a voice.
I should have a voice. Maybe there are mechanisms through the delegate issue that allows you to have that voice. But really, you're going to come to one man, one vote. When I contribute, I want my vote. And I think progressively we are seeing the parties shift towards that, opening up the space towards that direction. Maybe it's difficult to manage when they think that they open it up completely.
Yeah, but we should learn to do difficult things. Everything can be easy.
Exactly, exactly. So I think that we should, I mean, if you want to go and raise funds for this country, you should have the capacity to start with your own party. How can you be there, you can't raise funds for your party, but you want to come and raise funds for the nation? I don't see the correlation in it. So you should have the capacity to do so, because it's not just you. You have the men and the women around you, from who are in finance, who are in business, who are and so forth. So you should be able to have that organizational capacity to do so.
Right.
And, you know, I don't think we have punitive measures for people in government who make idiots of themselves, or better yet, who are thieves. You know, and those who say don't use these words, please. These words will be used till we stop making idiots of ourselves, until we stop being petty thieves and armed robbers. Some are armed with guns, some are armed with pens. We're stealing from our own society. Because if you look at the Auditor General report, and you know what I read earlier, one of the brightest public intellectuals in Ghana, an old pre-second called Bright Simmons. And at the end of the article, he proffers 4 solutions for better public finance management. And one of the solutions he proffers is the Auditor General should not steer away from politically sensitive matters. The truth is, it is the politically sensitive matters which are usually the burning issues in our nation. Because if you look at contracts that are given without people bidding, they say sole sourcing. And you find that some companies which were never in existence all of a sudden have gotten all these very big contracts. These are politically sensitive, you know. And if we appoint Auditor General, and this Auditor General has to be appointed by the President, the problem is, even in doing his work, he wants to doff his hat with respect to the President. Every good President of Ghana will tell you this. When they are in opposition, they will say, no, this position must not be appointed by the President. But once they get into office, the very things they fought against, now that they are in charge of, they want to keep. But every one of us is a president in our household. We have just elected a few who say they are more public service minded, they are more selfless, and they are more competent to do the job. And if we find they are not doing it, we must speak with clarity about it. We must ensure they are investigated. We must ensure they are prosecuted like they did in France, and they must suffer the consequences like any pauper in Ghana will have. Nobody is so powerful that they will hold on to power forever. Emery, ye ninkaso. And if you're a liar or you're a thief in government, if nobody kills you, you will die. And after you die, everything you hid will come out.
Everything you hid will come out. And that ties us nicely to the next conversation we're going to have concerning wills.
My friend.
Achimota Forest and state property. So, the latest in the Sir John Kojo Ufiri saga, Achimota, Ramsar sites and things being willed to family and things, is that the Traditional Council has released some information, and Thelma will read it for us, and then we'll have a conversation on this.
Okay, so this is from the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ghana Traditional Council. And it reads, the attention of the Ghana Traditional Council has been drawn to news of the release of portions of the Achimota Forest to the Owu family and matters arising thereafter. The Gamanche and President of the Ghana Traditional Council, Kintaki Taiko Churu II, has set up a committee of prominent chiefs and stakeholders to investigate all matters leading to the said release. A report on the findings and consequent actions will be made available to the general public. Thank you. Dated this 24th day of May 2022 at the Gamanche Palace, Kanishi, Accra. Signed Ni Adote Otinto II, Sempe Manche and Mankralo of the Ga State, sent to all media houses.
Okay, Thelma, thank you very much. I wonder what a Mankralo does. What's the role of a Mankralo?
Not an overseer.
Okay, all right.
The one who takes care of the town.
The town, okay. Yeah. Mankralo. Okay, awesome. Okay. Interesting. So this is on which letterhead? Ministry of Chieftaincy?
Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs.
Okay. Just wondering aloud. I mean, is it standard practice to have the Traditional Council write their release on the ministry's letterhead? So just thinking aloud.
I don't think so.
Not an
I don't think so. The Traditional Council does not work under the minister. Yeah. And, you know, if you're not an officer of the ministry, I don't think you should be doing that. Yeah. They should have their state, what's it called, letterhead. Because I don't think Otumfuo will want to write his letter on any minister's letterhead. Because the thing is, Otumfuo is for life, ministers are for terms.
I don't see why you brought Otumfuo into this conversation.
No, because that is the culture I am very well versed in. I'm an Adansi. I belong to the royal family of the Adansi, which is part of the Ashanti region. So I don't know. I'm saying what I know of the Ashanti region. So he may educate us on what he knows of the greater Accra
I was just thinking aloud. So we'll get answers.
Your thoughts are well echoed, because sometimes you have to look at these letters and scrutinize them properly. We have a lot of situations where letters have emanated. You find little details, no reference numbers, signature is this, and date is there, and all kinds of things. So I'm not saying that this is not authentic. If we're interrogating it, I'll interrogate it like I'm interrogating everything else. Is it coming from the rightful authority in the first place? That's the first thing. Number two, I haven't seen anybody put out the so-called will. I haven't seen it. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know whether it's authentic. Apparently it's being contested. Anything that is being contested in a will goes to court, and you have to prove that the will is authentic. And so if there's one that's authentic, then there's one that's fake. Or the person wrote the will under duress or in insanity. So I'm not a lawyer, but at least I know this one small.
I like this man.
So, you know, we keep on throwing things out in this country. We've thrown out that Achimota Forest has been sold. We are now being told it's not being sold. We're now being told it's some border on the edge somewhere that has been sold. Things are just being thrown out left, right, and center. And at the end of the day, you want me to come and comment here. I'm probably as confused as everybody else is, because that's the way we like doing things in Ghana. We like throwing it out there and let the wind catch it, and everybody is chasing after it. And then at the end of the day, somebody will come and tell us a different story.
And to add to what I said earlier, you see, I want to make it clear that whilst the ministry has the authority of the executive, the chief of the Ga people has the authority of the Ga state. And they are the ones who are the curators of our land. See, so when the government wants land, they will go to the chiefs and negotiate and say, okay, we want this, we'll give you this in return. So the one who owns the land has sufficient authority to write on his own letterhead without having to revert to one from any ministry. So maybe people didn't hear that clearly enough. I hope it's clear enough now.
And I find it extremely strange that you would put in your will something that is not yours. If you don't have title for it, how does it get into your will? This is a seasoned politician, very seasoned, knowledgeable.
And a lawyer too.
And a lawyer. So there are lots of questions to ask, which are commonsensical questions. It doesn't need any, scientist or rocket scientist They're just basic, simple things. And I think eventually, as in Ghana that happens, the truth eventually will emerge somewhere. It just sounds a bit wishy-washy. I mean, we hear that during President Mahama's time, it was given out, the forest was given out as an ecotourist park. We're talking about an EI, all kinds of things are being thrown around.
Well, I've just received a text from a friend who really watches me and who speaks truth to me all the time. And he says, Kwesi, you don't seem to want to speak because Sir John was your friend. Well, Sir John was my friend. I like him. I like him very much. So when I saw this thing, I was heartbroken. The thing is, I cannot verify. I'm hoping that it is verified. And once it is verified, if it is true, in our culture, we don't speak ill of the dead. But if it is true, then I'm quite disappointed. And it should serve as a warning to all of us that our rhetoric must match our actions. Because we who are still alive must remember and that state property is not for us. It's for the state. You know, on mine ejapadiye or ebusiafo ejapadiye, yemresa emmene yetafre, which is to say, family property or heirloom or what belongs to the state, we don't chew and swallow. We lick it and then we leave it safe so that other generations may also benefit from it.
You can also come and lick some.
We keep licking it. We keep licking it, you know. But if anybody can say this we know is for the state, and I must say this to hurt a few people who are now ministers, that some time ago in another administration, somebody determined to sell state properties to people who are ministers. You know, we don't speak ill of the dead, but another good friend of mine, Jacob Chibilamte, bought one of those. I think Ursula bought one of those. Nanado refused to buy one of those. He refused to. Now that made a certain clear statement that made me say, this man has gone as a
Well, it wasn't him to buy it.
Well, the thing is, it was offered.
Okay.
And when they offer, you can refuse, or you can say, oh, well, I'm taking it. And maybe some journalist who is writing in the media should put out the list of those people who bought those state properties at the time. Because it looks like we help people, elevate them into positions of authority, pay them better than the average CEO in Ghana, give them safety and give them perquisites. I mean, there are a few like Kennedy Japan who has quite a lot of money, so the parliament pay doesn't mean anything to him. But for most others, it means a lot. It may be the most money they have ever made in their lives. And then all of a sudden, they are the very ones who plunder what belongs to the state. Why should that happen? So I'm saying we don't know the truth about this one yet. But the ones we know the truth about, let it serve a warning to everybody who has been elevated into a position of authority. Take your pay, take your perks. Think of writing a book when you go on pension, like Obama and other presidents have done. Your book deal can make you all the money you want and stop plundering from the national resources.
Book deal in Ghana. I see. Anyway, I mean, we have a long history of this discussion and on the acquisition of state properties and the sale.
Who even offered those buildings to the ministers to buy?
There's a whole.
Well, go check that administration.
There's a whole history.
It's sad.
There's a whole history.
It's
of,
really sad.
of that. So
it's really sad. From those who were in a revolution to those who said we are the Democrats. So it's like people are good until you give them power and they take the mask off their faces and show you who they are.
Do we understand why we are where we are in this country and there's so much level of indiscipline and impunity and no respect for law? How on earth is it possible when you are leaders or you are leaders in positions of authority and power, your followers see you, you know, get all these goodies, for lack of a better word. They know you don't deserve it, but you get it. What do you expect them to do when they get there? They're going to do the same.
No, that's not true. We've seen a lot of drug dealers. We've seen a lot of thieves. We did not become drug dealers and thieves. What are you talking about?
Well,
no, don't send the wrong signal to the young people. The young people know good and bad.
I can. That's your opinion. That's entirely your
No,
opinion.
you can't say just because people see people stealing government, everybody who comes into government will be a thief.
Of course,
I know a good number of people in government who have never stolen.
I'm not being generic. I said one of the reasons, and if you see your leaders behaving in this way, of which you have said so many times yourself, that it obviously encourages a certain behavior. So when a deputy minister gets up and says that she's thinking about getting $1 million within 4 years, where did that mindset come from? Did it just come from a vacuum? No. There's certain things that are happening within our political space, which we speak towards. We speak of corruption. Where's that corruption? Every day we speak of corruption, yet nobody can show me where the corruption is. We speak, we talk. How many people have been prosecuted of all the talk of corruption in this country? How many people have been prosecuted for corruption? Every day we are talking about corruption for the past 20 years. Every day. Yet how many people on both sides? So is it that we're just talking and we're just using it and throwing it in the air so that we can leverage off it to get ourselves back into power, disaffection with the people? Is that it? So there's a certain behavior, and as far as I'm concerned, not how you're concerned, as far as I'm concerned, when the party followers see that in 4 years you have and you came from them, and we are Ghanaians, you come from us. You didn't come from the moon. You came from communities. The communities knew you before. They knew the holes under your shoe. They knew the car you drove. They knew the house you lived in. So when you see the dynamic change in your lifestyle in a matter of 4 years, you think that what? They don't have common sense in their head to say 1 + 1 is 2. Come on. And that's the reason why we are here. That's the reason why we are here in this country. And everybody now is looking at the picture of, hey, I got to kill to get this power, because this might be my last chance. In 4 years, get what I can get. I don't care how I'm going to get it, but that's my focus now. I need to get it. And they are willing to take each and every one of us to the cleaners for it. So when you hear that the temperature is hot in this country, I don't think people are fighting for development of this country. Otherwise, we won't be, after 1960, flooding will be the way it is in this country that we are talking about, and all the issues that we are talking about development. For the past how many years of independence, this is where we are as a people. If we're having true development, true leadership, that was thinking about the development of this country, we would not be where we are today. You and I will not need to come and sit here and be lambasting every day politicians and all the ills in our society. That's a fact. We can't run away from it. So please, something is responsible for where we've got to, and so let's get to the root of it. You were talking about the parliamentarians, but you've forgotten that the parliamentarians go through the same system as they need to get votes. It made it look as if the parliamentarians, they just go out to the community and you know, they just solicit for votes. They use the same methodology.
Same methods. So well,
we don't want to have foreigners giving our political parties money, is because then when they get into power, they will have to hold allegiance to a foreign power, possibly, or to criminals, drug dealers, as you mentioned, or illicit funds. Then it means that our government is corrupt from day one. And this is not what we want. And that is why we have regulations for party funding. And it's not just here in Ghana. It happens in America. It happens in Britain. People still abuse it.
I wonder
But
why.
it is
I
up to
wonder why.
us.
I wonder why we even still worry about foreigners, because we do bad all by ourselves.
Thank you
Well,
very much.
We do bad all
Yeah,
by
by ourselves.
ourselves, and I don't believe that
But that's the
the
reality.
majority of
We're being
Ghanaians
pragmatic here.
are thieves, and I don't believe that the majority of Ghanaians are corrupt. A good number of them are being cowered into silence by those they believe are more powerful than them. Believe in the goodness of people in Ghana, and that if the authorities, the police, the prosecution service, and the judiciary would actually do their work, we would gradually reduce the thievery and would have a more sensible society. Because if one person gathers so much, let's ask ourselves, how many cars is enough? How many houses is enough? How many clothes are enough? How much water is enough? How much air is enough to make you feel that you are a wealthy human being? Because all this stuff we're gathering, look at this will story now. Where is the person?
Good question.
But
Good way to
sorry,
wrap up.
but
I have a minute.
sometimes I like us to be pragmatic. It is money that drives politics.
Definitely.
There is no way you can man all your party offices
Without money.
Yeah.
So where's the money coming from?
So you need. So everybody is focused on. After all, Nkrumah, I understand he had a Ways and Means Committee. I don't know how far it is true, but Ways and Means Committee, when the contractors get their contracts, there's a certain percentage that goes to the party. I don't know how far it is true, but I've heard about it. So it didn't start today.
All right, playbook. Nice one. Okay, thanks a lot. Your messages to wrap everything up for us right now, but coming up will be a conversation on extremist threats, protecting our citizens and democracy. It ties in nicely to a media campaign that was launched yesterday by the Minister for National Security. If you see something, say something. And there's a number 999 that you need to call if you see something suspicious. What exactly do you have to see for you to call that number? That conversation will be happening in the next segment. I've run completely out of time for messages. And so Thelma is the next face you will see when we go out of the break and come back. Just to let you know that in Russia, Putin has banned almost 1,000 American citizens, including Biden, his vice president, Morgan Freeman, among others, but not Trump. I love Putin, man. Bad man doing bad things in Ukraine.
Trump
but
is his
this is
bellboy.
interesting.
Yeah.
We're coming back after this with a conversation on national security. It's AU Day. Enjoy this one from Robert Nesta Marley. Africa Unites.
Thanks for staying on. It's still Breakfast Live on GTV, made possible by Awake Purified Water and Adunko Next Level Energy Drink. This segment, we are talking security. See something, say something. That's what the National Security Ministry is asking Ghanaians to do, to be vigilant of themselves and their environment at all times so as to spot suspicious activities and report it to relevant authorities. The National Security Minister, Albert Kandapaa, has told Ghanaians that terrorism has evolved and therefore employing the old ways of dealing with such acts may not necessarily work. So the ministry is on a drive to bring Ghanaians up to speed on new ways of spotting suspicious activities and being vigilant so as to avert what we are being told is an imminent attack, a terrorist attack, as has been reported in some of our neighboring countries. And Ghana is trying to ensure that the citizens are ready for such a thing should it occur. This morning we'll try to understand those issues a bit more, and at the table I've been joined by Adib Sani. He's a security analyst, and I welcome him once again to the table. Sani, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Thelma. Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Great. And making another return, Palgrave Boache Dankwa, government spokesperson on governance and security. He was here last week and you are here again today, and it's the same topic of security.
Thank you, Thelma. It's good to be here.
Pleasure to have you. Gentlemen, we've had yesterday the launch of that campaign, the ministry leading the charge, asking Ghanaians to be aware, and it was aimed at protecting the country against terror attacks. The story is captured in many of the newspapers this morning. We are asking the question, how prepared should Ghanaians be? And if you see something, say something, what should you say? Let me start with you, Palgrave. When we talk about seeing something and saying something, should I report anything I see? What should I see? And then once I see that, how do I get in touch with someone?
So a very good morning to you, Thelma, and to your viewers, and to my very good friend, Abib. Really, to be able to put it succinctly, is that whatever you see that is unorthodox, that you have not seen in your particular environment consistently, repeatedly, you should be able to report that to police, and through the short code 999. We as a security service and the entire national security apparatus would decode that information and ascertain and analyze its relevance. Yours is to be able to say that the car that picks my garbage has come to pick my garbage and has stayed unduly. I'm not too sure what is happening. Can you please come and see? For you to be able to say that I've seen a vehicle patrol around, registered vehicle or licensed vehicle with this particular number, drive around every 30 minutes. I want you to come and have a look at it. Your goal is to be able to say that I'm in the market and I've seen something wrapped up in any color of a polythene. It's been there consistently every time I go to the market, and it doesn't appear it's a garbage. Can you please come and attend to it? Your goal is to be able to say that my children have gone to school, they have come back, and I've seen a leaflet in it, and I'm not too sure what is happening. Your goal is to be able to report that. And so in that entire conversation, we are asking the citizens to be involved holistically in disclosing information, and really to be able to state that the National Security Counter-Terrorism Apparatus has 4 cardinal points that they always drive their agenda on, and one of them is to prevent the act of terrorism. And so in the prevention stage, you need to educate, which is what we are doing now. The second is to preempt. To preempt is to get into the minds of people and analyze and know what they are thinking, and as a security apparatus we have a great understanding of what that is. And then the third is to protect. So protect continually the lives of people, protect continually state infrastructure, protect continually the streets. And then the fourth, the final one, which is to respond, is really where you clearly have seen that that threat is imminent, and for which reason you will need to put together some higher levels of security to ascertain that. But really, this campaign, for me, I think that has been welcomed by the Ghanaian people. Ghanaian people are having a great understanding of their own security awareness. And in the midst of that, we are not leaving any stone unturned. This is in partnership with the Ministry for Information, and so in that partnership, there's going to be high level of local level involvement in terms of religious bodies, both Islamic cleric and Christian cleric, to an extent maybe traditional persons or pagans or atheists or people that don't believe in any supreme being. We would involve as well the chiefs in the local assembly. This is an entire holistic government approach, so we involve all district assembly members, involve all local assembly members, involve all presiding members, involve all polling station executives, really to ensure that if you hear any information, you will be able to share that. But the goal as well is that if you live in a particular community and you can't have access to a telephone to run that information, the immediate person you will call upon would be your district assembly member or your chief or your Ebusiapenin for them to be informed of what is happening. And I think that this has become relevant critically because of the issues that has happened within the South region in recent times. One of them is the fact that the tourists have been coming down south, and close to about 48% of global index on tourism and related death is resulted to that. And as a result of that, we need to ensure that we take all the precautionary measures that are needed. And in view of that, we are aware that Togo has been attacked in recent weeks. Close to about 10 people have died. We sympathize with their souls. There were 2 attempts of the attacks in the northern part of Togo. The first attempt failed. The second attempt is really where they entered into that security environment and killed 10 people. 70% of Burkina Faso land is in the hands of terrorists. Benin has been attacked. Cote d'Ivoire has been attacked. So clearly, if you look at that, the goal is for them to be able to reach the Gulf of Guinea, to continue to perpetuate their act of piracy. And I mean, our government, President Danko Akufo-Addo, a few months ago donated 4 vessels of ships to the Ghana Navy, also really to help the act of protecting the Gulf of Guinea in that act. So clearly, say something, see something. All social media handles of the police has been activated. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of that has been activated for persons to
Yeah, I'll bring Adib into this. What really is the extent of the threat that we face? Palgwe puts it in a bit of a lot of fearful ways, talking about lives lost in Togo, 70% of Burkina Faso being in terrorist hands. And when he mentions the Gulf of Guinea, it gives you the impression of more or less like a march down on into the country, through the country, from the north to the south, and it doesn't paint a very pleasing picture. Is that really what we face?
Okay, so let's be realistic, okay? The threat has been there for some time. Make no mistake into thinking that the terrorists just touched down. However, I think there's been an attempt to manage information so it doesn't cause fear and panic. But thankfully, civil society was able to hammer on this, and finally, we have accepted the fact that the threat is real. Now let's get into perspectives. We have, apart from the fact that almost everybody around us has been attacked, Togo, like my brother rightly mentioned, Ivory Coast, Grand Bassam, Burkina Faso almost is like a daily ritual. As a matter of fact, a one-time African commander, General Michael Hicks, they seem to be losing the fight against terrorism in Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, Mauritania, Nigeria, Mali, etc. And we have similar deficits as these countries. I mean, a plethora of socio-economic and geopolitical deficits that makes us susceptible. The borders, you know, is a major issue. We have 352 unresolved chieftaincy disputes. We have serious issues with the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. We have human insecurities that is pushing particularly young people into uncertainty and, of course, into desperation. The activities of these terrorists on social media, by the way, they don't have to have active recruiters on the ground to be able to recruit young people. By the power of social media, they are able to do. And in the past, the African Union Commission for Peace and Security said that over 6,000 sub-Saharan Africans have actually gone to Syria to fight. And now that Islamic State is on the run, where do you think a lot of these people are? They are returning back to their bases. And in Europe, we've seen attacks by ex-combatants in Syria. And the possibility that these people might have been back to their bases is very high. And now the question is, why do terrorists attack certain targets? Three things, okay, the driving factors. One, the motive. Two, the opportunity, and the means. Okay, so the motive basically is why. Why do we need to attack? Are we at war with this country? And a lot of the French speaking, the Francophones, have military alliances with the French. The last one was Operation Barkhane that ended recently, the G5 Sahel, etc. And so the terrorists feel that these people are after us. Ghana might not have military alliances with the French, but we do have a defense cooperation agreement with the US. They use our radio spectrum, they use our airspace. Basically, they use, for want of a better word, they use Ghana as a launch pad. So that would make us a potential target. We have a lot of groups operating, especially in the Sahel region, Ansar Din, Ansar Sharia, ISIS in the Greater Sahara, etc. And their leaders, such as Mukhtar Belmokhtar, have stated categorically that his followers should stage attacks against Westerners in sub-Saharan Africa and their backers. So what it means is, if you have anything to do with the West, you become a potential target. So the motive is there. The means is the capacity or capability of the group to attack. And we do know that they have money, they have supplies. This is in the wake of a UN report earlier this year that stated that there's a terrorist warehouse in specifically ISIS in the Greater Sahara, in Ghana, Togo, and in Benin. So they have the means.
These things exist. Why not disarm or decommission or, stop?
Okay, I understand. You see, security is not like a football game. You know every step of the way. Okay, there's a lot of work they are doing covertly that you and I might not be. I'm sure if the national security start doing nothing, I'm not sure we would have been able to sit in this studio to have this interview in the first place. But that notwithstanding, we are not asking for, have you seen this person before? He's a terrorist from Mali. This is his name. This is his contact. That's not what the people need. What we need is just some information to make us security aware, to make us conscious, and to make us alert. And to the last part is the opportunity. Whether your security is strong, it is weak, your border crossings, the chieftaincy disputes within the country, all of it gives them that unique opportunity. Recently, there was a cable that leaked from the police headquarters to the Upper East Regional Command that stated that there were some fighters from the Burkina border area who had fought in Boku, and because of the military counter-offensive, they were going back, and so the regional police command should be on the lookout. So the threat is real, and like I always say, government cannot do it alone. National Security Ministry cannot do it alone. You and I have a responsibility. In fact, we are the most important stakeholder so far as the security of the state is concerned. That is why I welcome See Something, Say Something campaign. So at least we are able to imbibe into the people a sense of ownership and a sense of awareness. So they don't just understand, but they appreciate the threat and what they can do to prevent any such attack from coming our way.
So these attacks, and I hesitate to even ask this question, but is it from Ghanaians or from foreigners? I'm hesitating to ask this because I know that we've been at largely peaceful coexistence with all of our neighbors for far so long. We now begin to get suspicious of some of the people we see around that we don't know. Is that what government is asking us to do? Okay, so like my good brother Pelgrave said, anything unorthodox, anything that is so uncharacteristic, that doesn't really make sense. Not necessarily from a Ghanaian or a foreigner. It can be anyone.
Okay, we have gone the stage of safeguarding our borders. The possibility that they are already in town is very high. That is why government is asking.
They may be here already.
Absolutely. Okay.
How good are they here already?
They are not here to be able to say succinctly. But also, we are aware that a number of Ghanaians have been involved in other terror acts, especially in the neighboring countries. There are videos that we have of some Ghanaians. I mean, if you remember, there was even a news about a young student who was involved in it. I mean, our eyes are on him clearly to follow up. But like Sunny is saying, I think that it really could be anybody. That it could be your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your driver, your church worker, your Islamic brother, anybody, could be anybody, because it's all about idealization of their beliefs. But I don't want to take the wind out of Sunny's end. So,
so what's about idealization?
Okay, well, the thing is, young people particularly, who have a lot more to die for than to live for, get easily carried away by people who inspire them. Okay, so whatever your imam, and that is why I'm so excited about, I don't know whether it happened yesterday, about the minister's visit to the chief imam.
It happened yesterday.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So he takes advantage of it. And we have a decentralized Islamic system in the country. We have regional chief imams, and to appeal to the imams to be very careful about the things they preach, which can easily be taken out of context and which can seek to incite young people. And that's extremely key. And already, let us be let's be frank. Over 80% of terrorist victims are Muslims. Okay, whether in Nigeria and Afghanistan, even during fasting, they continued bombing mosques in Afghanistan. Okay, so it can be anyone. It can be a community member. It can be your wife. It can be your husband. It can be your father. It can be your mother. Because people change, and you don't know what people come into contact with, especially within the cyberspace. Some people get overnight. The case of Abdul Muttalib, I understand he comes from a prominent family, very rich family in Nigeria. Then on Christmas Day, he decides, as a matter of fact, I think he even bought his ticket in Ghana. On Christmas Day, he attempted to blow up a U.S. Plane. And there's the case of Richard Reed, a white Westerner, who also got, radicalized somewhere along the line. In the UK, for example, like the case of Shamima Begum, who was able to leave UK through Turkey into Syria to become a militant wife, so to speak. So it can be anyone. People leave their families, their loved ones, just to go and fight because of the kind of exposure they get on social media. So we need to be each other's keeper. We need to be, unfortunately, I think gradually Ghanaians, we are becoming westernized, because in the past, you know all your neighbors, you know who is to your right, who is to your left. But these days, at 6 a.m., you've left home, you come back home at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., you go straight to bed. You don't know who is next door. And we always feel we'll be fearsome. That is someone's business, forgetting that if someone's house is on fire, you don't help to douse the flames. The next minute it could be yours.
I just hesitate when I have to ask these questions. But we are sitting here as a country. Ghana is not at war with anybody as far as I am concerned. If national security is up to certain things, then they are doing it at the level of national security. So why would somebody get up? What kind of mentality goes into deciding that Ghana is a target? And why should we wake up to that realization sooner rather than later?
Well, I think that the stark reality is the resources that we have in Ghana. We have oil, we have gold, bauxite, diamond, we have iron, we have ore, and we are also very close to the Gulf of Guinea. And so these are one of the major opportunities and resources that are available for them to come in. And really also Ghana has been hailed as one of the most peaceful countries We are one of the most peaceful countries. We are the first on the sub-region of West Africa. We are the third on Africa. We are the 38th in the world, and the world has close to about 198 to 200 countries, and we are the 38th. So clearly, Ghana is a major threat for a number of these terrorists to come in, because once they come into Ghana, it makes the world news all around, and the attention of Westerners come in here to be able to see what they can do to prevent that. But really also Africa is a major threat. UN has projected that by the time Africa gets to 2063, the entire world's population of young people will be on the continent of Africa. A total of about 1 billion young people will be on this continent. And so these terrorist acts are also preparing for these growing numbers. And if you have 1 billion young people in the world on the continent of Africa to prepare themselves for the global world, you will need to look in here, which is why the rest of the world is also coming in here to help really prepare for that growing numbers and the teething opportunities that present. And having looked into that, there is a conversation that has been held, and some meetings and preparations that has been done to ensure that we really address the violent extremism as it relates to displaced people. Because during terrorism, and Sunny would agree with me, there are high level of number of persons that are displaced in the thousands. In Nigeria, you would have close to about 400,000. In Benin, in Burkina Faso, in Ivory Coast, and a number of them will trickle down into the country. And so the Ministry of Gender, together with other state agencies, have worked out a modality where we'll start absorbing them into a home and start taking care of them, so they really get out of the streets, because streetism is also on the high. And at every time when you reach any robot or traffic light, as we say it in this country, you realize that people are knocking on your windows begging for arms, which gradually on a regular basis also is a security threat. So a number of things that are security threats is being looked at holistically from a government angle.
Right. Sunny, help us create some scenarios for us, if you would, of how we should act in certain situations. Perhaps we are at church or in a mosque and we spot some unorthodox behavior, like you're saying. What should be the go-to plan?
Okay, so we need to alert at all times. That's why my center, the Center for Human Security and Peace Building, came out with a 12 points guideline, what to look out for, whether you're at a place of worship or anywhere people gather en masse. And we do know that terrorists love soft targets, and the soft targets include places of worship, lorry parks.
Why are they soft
markets.
Targets? That's against hard targets, and which would
the hard targets, God forbid, a classical hard target is the Burma camp, okay, or military installations where security is tight. Okay, but the soft targets where we let our guards down, Makola markets. I mean, even when you go, not too long ago, I received a friend from Kenya. We went to the Accra Mall, and he was shocked that we could go in, do all our shopping, and come out without any form of security checks. And it was like, it's unthinkable in Kenya. At least we need a form of protection. That's why I appeal to the government to direct all managers of these big shopping chains, from the Game to ShopRite to Melcom to Palace, to introduce at least the handheld metal detector check, which is about 1,000 cedis, for crying out loud. So at least before you go in, you are subjected to some little checks. It's not the ultimate, but it has that layer of security. So the churches, the mosque should introduce it. Like the National Security Ministry indicated, we should also resort to the use of private security firms, which, by the way, are a lot in the system, but we don't seem to use them. I wanted to go into it some time ago, and a friend of mine told me, Adib, there's no business, so don't even attempt. So they are there. I mean, a lot of these young people are without jobs, so we can take advantage of that. Like Pelgrave also said, when you see a bag that is unattended to, don't assume there's money in it, so you go grab it. It could be a bomb. You just alert the appropriate authorities. I did an experiment some time ago. I went to the mall. At the point of payment, I said I had left my money in the car, so they should just take my bag. I'll be right back. And the attendant took it gracefully. So what if it were a bomb? So awareness creation is also key. And what terrorists also do is they ask too many questions beyond mere curiosity. So they would come to you, is this where the minister lives? What time does he leave home? What time does he come? What car does he use? What's the number plate? Does he have bodyguards and all that? If it's beyond curiosity, you know the person is gathering information. And they impersonate, I mean, they misrepresent. At the least opportunity, he changes his name. Or he has t-shirts of GBC when he has nothing to do with GBC. What are you up to? Okay, and some of them test the system. So, for example, we are in this studio, which is out of bounds to the general population, but he can come in just to test your system, and when you catch him, he would go like, "Oh, I was going another place and I mistakenly entered." Okay, because what they are fond of doing is to check the strengths and weaknesses of your establishment. And when you see someone holding blueprints of highly sensitive buildings, such as high-rise buildings, such as the Jubilee House, military installations. For example, the ground floor is the reception. There's an exit point here, an entry point here. What are you holding it for? Okay, we need to alert the appropriate authorities. So generally, I think we just need to be alert and be willing to give out information.
So this is for when we are out and about in the public. But Palgrave, there are some who operate really small businesses, perhaps not even an actual selling and buying business, but they've rented premises. What should they be looking out for, since these premises may be used as cells to perpetrate these activities? Well,
I think that it's important that you always know the background of persons that are using your facility. Every now and then at various places you would ask for a police report, and then you would also
you think
ask for,
it's a time landlords ask for police reports for their tenants?
It might not be too much to ask for, because elsewhere in the world people take security quite seriously. But I've seen that on this continent, security is not much of a desire to many people. I mean, so like I stated, I mean, I would typically ask you why you're standing by my vehicle. It may sound unorthodox, but I'll ask you, you've been standing by my vehicle for a very long time. What's the reason? You know, but some people will not find anything wrong with that. So it's about time persons and various places who have various properties begin to involve state security apparatus to make sure. I mean, even if you have an Uber driver whom you are giving your vehicle to, get a person to give a police report. Sometimes psychologically it puts the person on toes that if anything untoward happens to me, or if I misbehave, I would be caught by the police. So just put all these mechanisms in place, and it's available. I mean, you just go to the police CID, you pay a little token of money, and then you run that police report so that you know you are clear. You get fingerprints, and I mean, even at this stage, you get copies of the Ghana card, which would let you know where the person lives, will let you know the TIN number of the person, the contribution of the person, really just so that you are very much aware. You get a witness for the person to come and give a witness, just so everyone is protected. So if you have your little shop somewhere, you also need to be aware of the person you are hiring to come and take care of your shop. You need to know where the person lives. You need to know the real name of the person to an extent. And you need to make sure that your background check is done very well. And then also to be able to state that when you are in your community, you need to be aware of your community. Like Sunny stated, in the days when many of us were growing up, especially many of us whose parents were born in the 1920s and 1930s, we were taught that children must be seen and really heard as well. And in those modern days of silent generation, post World War I, World War II, you realize that it was a community that brings up people, which is the Ubuntu nature of the community. But in this stage, everybody has become a silo in themselves. But I think that it's about time we become a bit more conscious of our neighbor, so that we can find how, because your neighbor's security is your security and your security is your neighbor's security. So once we put that in proper perspective, it would help you very well. So know your security man, know your assemblyman, know your DC, know your MP, know your your presiding member, get to know your Ebusiapeni. There are people who don't even know the Ebusiapeni in the family that they come from. They get to know your chief, get to know your linguist. Get to know the people within the traditional circles. If you are an auntie who lives at Manguase and you do granite and you sell, get to know yourself, sensitize the environment. I'll tell you, in recent times at Teshinungwa, I received a call from someone who stated that there's a madman who has come to my shop and has threatened to hurt me. And I said, report it to the police immediately. And so she went to, and this is like a 71-year-old woman, and she went to the police and reported, and the police came. And this madman is at the train, the railway line. There's a railway line around Teshi, and he goes around. But I'm sure that at that time, maybe he might have taken something and was intoxicated. But really, don't take any threat for granted. We as security personnel and security apparatus, with the level of intelligence of analyzing issues, will be able to better understand the issues that you have shared with us, so that everyone can be safe.
I saw Sunny just, agree with most of the things you say. You want to add something?
Yes. I think Ghanaians should also invest in security. Don't be pepe, for crying out loud. You see someone put up a multi-million-dollar edifice.
Sometimes it's not pepe. Sometimes people genuinely cannot afford.
Absolutely, I don't deny that fact, okay? But sometimes we are also too reactive. We wait until something, I'm a security entrepreneur. Someone would put up a multi-million-dollar edifice. You ask the person to just invest 5,000 cedis in surveillance systems. He tells you, oh, it's safe here, until something happens. Then he would call you at midnight. I know a friend of mine who does this ride-hailing stuff with a lot of vehicles. I told him, my brother, track your vehicles. It's today, tomorrow, next week. The day they stole one vehicle, he called me at 10 p.m. Adib, I can't go to bed without a GPS tracking device. Okay, so if we can, let's and invest in security systems, because it's like I indicated, it also adds a layer of security, and it's a situational crime. What do we call it? Situational crime prevention strategy, because it prevents the crime in the first place.
Gentlemen, let me bring our audience into this conversation on national security and the imminent threat we are being told we face as a country. The ministry asking Ghanaians to be vigilant after launching the campaign See Something, Say Something. What are your thoughts? 05555 61034. Valerie is going to read them to us now.
Right, good morning. Our screen is interactive. This is from TT, and TT is saying, good morning, GTV. In fact, some youth are ready to join all these groups just because the system is hard to endure. Trust me, NABGO graduates are hungry, but God is always with us. This is a long one from Apai. He says, no jobs for we without education and protocol, so how should we survive? Having talk of having a family to cater for. Earlier he sent a really long one about how Ghanaians are being recruited into terrorist groups to fight or destroy Ghana, and it shouldn't be a surprise or a matter to be discussed, because he's saying that he can even tell that the youth here are even fed up and want alternatives. Now, as at 4 to 5 years ago, I could tell the number of dropouts and people we know to be hard in the community as criminals could only survive when most were advised to venture into monetary trade and more. Some worked as attendants in the betting companies and others with the sub-agencies under the NLA here. But now the government being so selfish to take everything from the undergraduate and we without any qualifications to be employed into the sectors. This is really long, but we get the point. Me, Taki Pensa, he says he was even asked to join and that he'll be paid 3,500 Ghana cedis on every mission. He says, because I don't really believe in money over hard work, but I'm not well educated to be employed into any of the government sectors. It's hard here in Ghana because the youth are dying of hunger. Most of the comments we are getting, how times are hard, and this is on the Achimota Forest Reserve and it doesn't fit into this conversation. So T, back to you and your guests.
I get the sense that we may have to get the gentleman's number perhaps to one of you so that you can follow up on some of the claims that he has made. Because if we are hearing that there are attempts to radicalize, like I'm hearing this morning, and this is someone coming to even buttress that point further, then it's a cause for worry. Absolutely. And I'll throw the economic question to you, Palgrave, but let me finish hearing what Sunny has to say about even our awareness levels. You've talked about investing in our security. I'm told that even something as basic as questioning people who take photographs could be a long way us out of a potentially bad situation?
Absolutely, because before the terrorist attack, they should have placed the target under surveillance over a period of time. So if you are at a public place and someone is secretly taking photograph or video of an installation, what do you have to hide? Especially if the area is sensitive and the person is secretly taking those photographs and videos, I think you can question. Sometimes the body language, I mean the incoherent manner in which the person responds to your questions can give him out. So it is all about being alert, how many of us are conscious of whether someone is following us at the back or not. So if you have a reason to think that you are being followed, what you do is to drive to the nearest roundabout. Perhaps you go round twice or thrice just to ascertain that indeed you are being followed. And if you ascertain, what you're supposed to do is to immediately get in touch with the police, or you drive to the nearest public space and seek help. So with this information in mind, Ghanaians would better understand the seriousness of the threat and know what to do. But let me also use this opportunity to appeal to the national security setup not to do this only through Ministry of Information. I think you need to collaborate more with civil societies, especially those on the ground. They are already interacting with the people. They know what is happening down there also. So when you collaborate with them, for example, I have something I'm cooking up just to support from my pockets, just to support government efforts. Okay, so we are able to get as many Ghanaians as possible educated, whether it is in the civil service, other public sector organizations, in the private sector, down there at the community level. For example, about a week ago, I was at Bosher Market, Medina New Market, educating the women about what to do, in case they see suspicious behavior. This week, I'm supposed to be at another market, at the very best I can do. So everybody has a responsibility.
I'll put this to you on the extent of collaboration with other stakeholders, like Sani has said, and also the economic question about a standard of living and people feeling desperate to the point where they feel compelled to even consider offers such as this one told us about. So let's talk about the collaboration first, and then we'll get into the economic matters.
Okay, so I think that on a national scale, we are collaborating very largely with a number of stakeholders. I mean, one of them immediately is the CSOs, and Sani and then Mukhtar, these two persons and others that are involved in security, civil society organizations are going to be involved as at immediately. Even conversations have already been held. I'm sure that some conversations have been held with Sani from National Security and the likes. We are also collaborating with a religious institution. Like stated yesterday, the Minister for National Security visited the Chief Imam, which is not the first time that we have engaged the Chief Imam, but in all of our meetings, the Chief Imam has always sent a representative, but it was right for us to visit him and just give him an update of things that have happened. The Christian community is heavily involved. Council, Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Churches, National Association of Charismatic Churches, Independent Prophets, I mean, and all of them are clearly involved. The Catholic Secretariat are involved, the educational institutions are involved, collaborating very largely as well with media. Because you are aware the role that media plays in
it sounds extensive, but how does the person in the small village, the small town, which is usually where we are told that these groups like to operate, how will they get the information so that they realize what is going on around them and report as they should?
Well, I think that clearly small village, small town, the burden is on the Information Services Department, which is why it's a strong collaboration as well between the National Security and the Ministry for Information, because then we have all our district officers who are deployed to be able to speak the languages of the persons in their native language to bring clearer clarification into the issues. And so the woman who lives at Mangwase will continually understand the issues and the threat of it, and will not be disassociated or disaligned from this entire threat of terrorism. And so the ISD is clearly deployed with information vans. There are jingles in local dialects and videos in local dialects as well that is going to go all across the country to ensure that the campaign reaches down to the very local level. On the educational front, in terms of the economic hardships, I believe very well that as a government we are tackling and handling this issue forthright, and I would like to put on record, which is the You Start initiative that government is seeking to launch in a very short time. And I've stated on record by an independent research that I've done that the You Start initiative sought to give young people, especially entrepreneurs, 1 million of them opportunity to start their own businesses. And I've just supposed that if each of these 1 million persons employ 20 people, you are looking at 20 million jobs created. That's significant, and that's a heavy investment in young people. And I would say that when this initiative is launched, don't sit at home. I mean, go to the platform, prepare your proposal, submit your proposal, go and take a little money, start something small, from 10,000 cedis to 20,000 to 30,000 to 50,000, go into something lucrative, and that would engage your attention. In terms of persons that, yes, I mean, we have intelligence of young Ghanaians that are being idolized in a number of these terror groups in the name of maybe doing Bitcoin. But I mean, it's all part of an idealization of self-worth. But the goal is that if you look between your vertical relationship between yourself and your spirit, you should ask yourself the cardinal question: is this the right thing to do? Is it the right thing for me to sell my soul? I've seen videos. So
it's a moral or an ethical question.
I think it's both. I mean, moral and ethical, really. That to what end? To what end would you want to give up yourself and die? Because when you come and bomb, you die as well. I mean, so you come and die and kill 20 people, and then your life becomes better, your family becomes better, your wife, your husband and your wife become better, your children become better. So really, let's look at the moral right and consistently have the hope and the perspiration to want to do better with yourself. And I believe that the You Start initiative, if you venture into agriculture, in fact, it's the fastest way to make wealth. Enter into agriculture, do cashew, do cola, do anything, do maize, anything that you can get to do. I mean, the maturation rate is extremely good. It's even better than T-bills.
Perhaps this would be my final question to you, Palgrave. We don't want this to be the scenario, but should this fail, and should the unexpected, because we don't expect it to happen, what's our plan? Do we have a plan to ensure that it doesn't go beyond a certain point?
So, you know, truth is that in terms of the 4 cardinal points of the national security and the counterterrorism unit, which is to prevent, which is what we are doing with the high level of education, and preempt, which is to get into the psychological minds of the people, and then to protect, and then to respond. I mean, like we stated, I mean, these are things that we are living with. We are living with a threat. Clearly, we are living with a threat. And as living with a threat, anybody could be used. I mean, it could be your nephew in the village whom you have not seen in a long time, that has been radicalized and idolized, and he said, I want to come and visit you in Accra, and might have a plan. I mean, you should be able to be aware and know what to do. Should this happen, like we've stated, there are and then there are hotspots. I mean, all hotspots installation of security measures, from our nuclear that we have at the Ghana Atomic Energy to Kotoka International Airport. I've seen when I was coming in today that the state-owned broadcaster has an electronic gate that when you get there, they will ask you your name. So they asked me my name, and I mentioned my name, and the man said I should go. He used the electronic gate. I was like, wow, that was really good, you know. And I saw the armor vehicle at the back as well. So clearly, you could see that all of these things is measures that are being put in place. But should it happen, I believe that we'll be able to manage the situation.
Right. Sunny, your final word.
Like I always say, it's a shared responsibility. This has nothing to do with politics. When they come in, God forbid, I'm not sure they would ask whether you are NDC or MPP. And Ghana being such a shining example, outstanding country. They say we are an island of prosperity in a rather turbulent sub-region. And when you study terrorism, and Brian Jenkins is not mentioned, I'm not sure it's terrorism. He said that the terrorists want more people hurt and more people killed. And so their propensity to come after Ghana is quite high, because they would want to send a clear message to the international community. Hey, look at your Ghana that you are bragging about. We've come after them. So we all have a responsibility to protect. This is very personal to me, and I'm hoping that more Ghanaians would learn to appreciate the seriousness of the threat and do the very best they can at the individual level, at the domestic level, and at the community level, so together we can protect our peace.
Before you go, just to be able to state and wish Africa well, because today is AU Day. Really, just to wish Africa well. There are a lot of African meetings that are going on this week at the International Conference Center. The ADB conference is going on, where lots of African countries are here. The Mozambique president as well is in country. So really to wish Africa well as we celebrate the AU Day.
Thank you. Palgrave Boache Dankwa is the government spokesperson on governance and security. He's been doing this with Adib Sani, security analyst, and we've been talking about the imminent terror threat that Ghana faces. The experts are telling us to be more vigilant. A campaign was launched in the national capital, Accra, yesterday, dubbed "See Something, Say Something," and you can say it to the short code 999. Call if you see anyone exhibiting any unorthodox behavior. If you're driving and someone is following you, see some strange people, call 999. If you're at the mall and you see an unattended bag, call 999. Shopping malls, markets, consider implementing some metal detectors. Just add an extra layer of security. If you are in church and you see anything, draw the attention of the officials. Everyone is being asked to come on board on this fight, and so that we can keep our country safe, the people and our property safe. We do not want to lose any lives to violent extremism. So the information on your screens now will be splashing them on our social media handles as well. You can also follow the police service social media handles for all information, and send your thoughts and queries and questions to the right officials as well, so that you can get some answers. Be safe out there, and if you see anything strange, don't try to engage anyone yourself. Just call the relevant authorities to come to your aid. I'm so grateful, Palgrave and Adib Sani, for your time this morning. The breakfast show continues after the break, and Valerie will be back in the next segment after the break.
Good morning, welcome back. Happy AU Day to everybody, and it ties in perfectly with the conversation we're about to have next. I'm about to talk to Dr. Kojo Sumini, and we're talking about the 18th African Union Commemorative Service. So this service is held every year to bring men of God together to pray for the nation. But this time, even though we are praying for the nation, the doctor is telling us that we are going to look to offer solutions to all the economic strife, especially targeting the youth. Good morning, doctor. Welcome to the Yellow Couch.
Thank you, thank you.
And welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Oh, wow, thank you. I'm happy to be here, and also I'm happy to see African outfit, man. You look beautiful.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. You as well.
Thank you.
You as well. There's a lot of blues flying around today, so you're in sync with everybody. Happy AU Day to you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so Doc, for people who are hearing about this AU commemorative service for the first time, what inspired it? How did it start and why?
Thank you very much. The AU, my ministry is called Mission Africa.
Right.
It was birthed in Israel in 1998.
Okay.
So it's quite a long time, and our vision is to reach out to Africans in the diaspora, those who are doing very well and who have heard negative about Africa, to really come home and see what Africa is all about.
Right.
It's not what they have put out there. That is one. Two, to seek natural and spiritual assistance for the development of the nation. That's the two. The third one is to look at the next generation, those who are going to come after us. How are we preparing them to take over the continent that is infested with bills and infested with problems?
Yeah.
How do you prepare people who are going to be the next line when the continent itself, right now as I speak, owes $702 billion. We are in debt.
The whole continent.
And yes, $702 billion as a continent. How do you leave your children with such a bill? That's Mission Africa. So we have decided to start from the grassroots to seek solutions for the next generation, who are the youth.
Right.
That's a good thing to say that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and one thing to say I'm doing it. And we want to take the pattern of China as our role model. And that is what we are doing. And so when we come to a day like this, we pray for the continent, we pray for our leaders, and we are privileged by the grace of God to have the opportunity to be in a parliament house where the seat of the government is. So we pray with them and for them, and then we lay down some of our pragmatic solutions that we believe strongly that it will be a blessing if they adhere to some of the suggestions that we make, because as the president of Mission Africa, we look at the whole Africa, 1.3 billion people, and we seek solutions step by step to solve the problems.
Amazing stuff. And this is done every year in collaboration with the Parliament of Ghana and GBC, and then from your outfit. It's beginning today at the Parliament House. It begins at 10 a.m. And I'm looking at we have 12 speakers. They're going to be shared across today and tomorrow. They'll be split.
Everybody has a message, and we'll share today and tomorrow. Okay,
so we have 12. I see our very own favorite of our set here, Dr. Lawrence Tete, Pastor Dr. Andrew Ewu, Apostle Eric Kwabena Nyamiche, Jacob Oseyeboa, Professor J.O.Y. Mate, right, Prof. Paul Frimpong Manso, Dr. Benjamin Anagri, Bishop Samuel N. Mensah, Mr. Selom Kofi Dake, Dr. Akosia Sumini, and Augustina Akosia Echa Mensah. 12 strong speakers.
Powerful men and women of God.
Okay.
All experts in their areas. And we're going to be talking about today. For instance, I personally will talk about...
Are you the first? Are you opening, perhaps? Right.
Yes. I'm going to open.
Okay.
And then the Speaker of Parliament is going to be there. He's the main man. He's our host.
Honorable Badbing.
Yes. He's going to be there, and he's going to give a solution for our constituencies. And then we are going to be looking at the way forward for the 21st century youth. We have 668 universities in Africa, registered ones, and they graduate 10 million every year. Wow. And only 3 million
absorbed into the job market.
Absorbed into the proper job market. The 2 million are doing nominal jobs, like they have not even been to school. And then 5 million, no jobs. This is the cardinal issue of Mission Africa. Right. We are talking about what is the pragmatic things on grounds.
Right.
It should be technical and vocational schools, TVET. We have 1.3 billion people, and we are producing over 5 million or 7 million people not working, the next generation. And you know, my dear sister, I want the whole of Africa people, leaders, African Union, the African Union Commission, and the Pan-African Parliament to take it very serious.
Right.
And let's follow after China. China have 1.4 billion people. They put 14.5 billion to reform technical and vocational schools. Why? Because many people think that vocational schools and technical schools are it's a second choice. But if you want to look at a continent or a country that are doing very well, it's Asia, not America.
Right. Doc, today, if you follow the show, you realize that we've been talking about things that are happening. And the last bit was talking about people. A lot of youth are looking to migrate, looking for greener pastures elsewhere. That is on the table for today's discussion.
Yes.
But what is the one thing that if the youth are watching, because they are watching, they've been sending message. Yes. What's there to stay in Ghana for? What's there to stay in Ghana for? The one thing to stay in Ghana for. Why?
First of all, the reason why they are migrating because they don't see any hope for them. 2, come to Mission Africa Kingdom Builders, Institute of Technology. We'll prepare you. There's so much money here than outside. There's so much money to be made in Ghana, in Africa. That's what foreigners are coming here. That's what the Lebanese are coming, the Indians are coming. There's so much, and we will show you what to do to make money. It's not about just making money, but we'll show you the kind of skill you need. Today, the building industry is very, very lucrative. But here are people who have graduated and don't have skills, and they want to go outside. They're going to wash dishes. They're going to be disappointed. There's a lot of them there in New York, in Maryland. So many people are sitting there very disappointed. I was in Denmark, Finland. They are disappointed. Why? Because they have not prepared them for job market internationally. When I came here, I was trying to give job to some people who are looking for business. I put an advert looking for a person to work for me, and 750 people came for the job. And when they came, about 90% don't know how to drive. 90% don't know how to drive a car.
But
they don't have a license, and they're looking for a job. The first night they came and said, "Can you drive?" No. 500 people out. But
the description required that they drive.
Today market, if you want to hire somebody, the person must drive. It's not about your education or degree, because I wouldn't hire 2 people, one just to be a driver and drive you around. If there's a car, take the car and go and come. So employers are looking for people who have what they call graduate plus skills. In China, when I was there studying, they found out that in China, everybody must have a degree plus a skill. That's the 21st century. So if you are looking forward to migrate with your BA in human, whatever you have, and you want to go there, you'll be disappointed. You must be prepared for the job market. Look at here, international.
Wow.
That's what we are talking about. Otherwise, you are just going to get there and be disappointed because you're not fit for the job market. And we have been trained to think just theory. When people have been trained to think theory and practical. So Mission Africa today, I'm going to talk about pragmatic things that Africans must do, youth, to get a job right here.
All right. Doc, seeing that today's opening is at the Parliament House, how do people get in? Because there will be some sort of restrictions. Is it going to be a virtual alternative?
Yes, there's a virtual alternative. That's one. And whoever is sharing my voice, if you come to the Parliament House and you know that, please, we are going to pray and we are going to give solution. It's free, but wear African clothes.
Strictly, it says here on the flyer that strictly African wear.
Yes, because you can't say the AU Day and we're talking about Africa and you don't even do anything to promote the natural costume of your continent or your country. So I propose that every AU Day, everybody from the president to the lowest person must wear African clothes to celebrate the great Memorial Day that we all are enjoying.
Thank you, Doc. And we'll see.
And I would like them to call me. If you want to call to find direction, it's 055-411-6401. 055-411-6401. Mission Africa Incorporated. Get a skill, get a job, create a job, help others.
Get a job, get a skill, help others. And that's Dr. Kojo Sumuni. He is the president, Mission Africa Incorporated. And the 18th African Union Commemorative Service is going to be held today at the Parliament House. It starts at 10 a.m. And so you can just troop in there. We are going to pray and we are going to get solutions as to how to make money right here in Ghana. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
We're still celebrating AU Day, and we have something beautiful from Wiyala and Dead Body, and it's going to be premiered here, guys, and it's coming up right after this show. First time airplay, guys. When other can you play than AU Day? And so, yeah, I Believe in Africa is by Dead Body and Dead Buddy is in studio.
Yes, I am.
I changed the name. He's in studio, and we're going to Wiala is going to join us somewhere and during the conversation.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Wiala is on. Hi, Wiala. Good morning. Happy AU Day.
Hello, Valerie. Happy AU Day.
Hey, thanks for joining us. We love your video, you too. How did you guys come up with the concept, filming, putting all together? And then you traveled all the way from Accra through different cities all the way to the north. Guys, we are proud of you. Africa to the world, Ghana to the world. Okay, so tell us, who's going to start? Wiala, you start.
Wiala will start. Ladies first.
Ladies first. Wiala, so tell us the conception.
The song was written by Kwesi.
Yes, and I called him Dead Buddy. Shit, well. Right, and so what? Did he let you listen to it? How did you jump onto the
song? He contacted me months and months ago, and he sent us the song, and he said, this song, he feels like I can add something to it because he's talking about Africa. He's been looking forward to working with me. So when I listened to it, I liked it. The message was just amazing. So I just added Cecily verse and then Wale, and then I sang the lyrics that he wrote. So he wrote almost all the song, and I added something small. So, and then but we did the voices from different places. Sometimes he was in USA and I was in Funsi. So we had to do voices and send the stems around, and then finally he came to Funsi with his crew, and we shot the video there. And then, yeah.
Amazing. How was it? This is the first time the two of you worked together on a project.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Wiala, tell us how it was like working with Kwesi.
Oh, Kwesi is very easy, nice guy, gentleman, easy to work with, very understanding. He allowed me to be very creative, and he asked me, look, relax. Anything that you have in your mind, just let it out and let me add what I have. And it was so super easy. I know it was a lot of hard work, but because of the working relationship, it was so easy. For us, it didn't look like we were just working hard. We're having fun.
Having fun, well,
everybody's very understanding. And yeah, easy to work with.
Right. Wiala, you're one of the acts from Ghana, and you not only represent Ghana, but you represent Africa on the international stage. It is AU Day, and you've been one of the forebears when it comes to videos that proper project Africanism. Share a few words with us.
Well, I am an African girl. Nobody can tell the African story better than me.
Yeah, man.
I can speak my local dialect, my African language. I know the cultures. There's nowhere I can go and not talk and defend Africa to the best of my ability. So what I know best that I can do, I want to show the world who really we are, the beautiful things about Africa. No matter the challenges we go through, there's a lot of positive things in Africa. We, the young people, must believe. Nowhere is cool, though. Everywhere there's problem. But we have to believe and know that, as they say, Rome was not built in one day. Africa will also be built in one day. We will have to keep building, keep developing, believe in ourselves, and let the world see who we really are. Yeah, so that's me. So,
okay, but I can't. Yeah, Wiala, I can't have you leave us without us experiencing the rich lioness of Africa, your voice. So hey, give us a line or two from I Believe in Africa.
Okay. Oh, I believe in Africa. We believe in Africa. And we believe in all of us. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Raw girl. Thank you, Wiala. Thank you, Wiala, for joining us. And that was Wiala, the African lioness, and she's an amazing soul, and her contributions to I Believe in Africa is massive. Kwesi,
yes.
What say you? You know me, I can't get over the dead body. Nobody will ever get over it. We accept you as Kwesi,
yes.
But behind the scenes, you are still our dead body.
Of course,
okay.
Of course.
And
of
we
course.
love you.
Yeah.
Chale, you're doing amazing.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, happy AU Day. I see your pendant.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we have to represent Africa. So.
Okay. You believe in Africa. I believe in Africa.
I do believe in Africa.
But how did you put I Believe in Africa into a song? Amazing visuals, by the way.
Thank you. I Believe in Africa, like Wiella said, it's a song that, you know, I thought of doing songs like that. You know, when it comes to my EDM and the global stuff I'm doing, I do more EDM and more like world music. So when I was putting the song together, I put it at Blue Music Studios here. So when I was doing it, I was like, okay, this is a song, I can't just do it by myself. I need someone. So for so long, I had, that song was there for about 7 years.
No joke.
You know, and it was there. And I kept thinking who was the perfect person. And, you know, I met Wiella before. And then when I met her, I'm like, nah, wait. So it came to me and I'm like, no, Wiella is the perfect. And she's, you know, I've always seen Wiella as a sister. You know, I've always seen her as a sister. So when I saw the things she said, I'm like, no, this is perfect. Because who better to be on the song than her? So when I contacted Mark Darlington, who is also part of my management team, like I'm trying to get this song to, you know, Wiella, and he contacted John, and John was like, you know what, why not, let's do it. So finally John was like, let's do it, and then we took off. We did the song. She was in London then. She heard the song, we wrote it, we did it, sent it to South Africa. You know, Sunset Recording Studio, they're amazing. They actually do my mixing and stuff for me as well.
Why don't you do your mixing and stuff here in Ghana? Is there a problem?
It's not that. I think I'm the songwriter, I'm the creator. Sometimes I just need to have another ear. And to be honest with you, when they worked on I Believe in Africa, the mixing they did for me was like, to me, as a creator, you cannot create everything. Sometimes you need to let somebody also be blessed by God, because they also learn their profession, so they need to be blessed. So they do the work for me, and so I had rather let that happen. But it was amazing. Working with Wiella was just a breath of fresh air. You know, it's
she
like,
has this energy.
No,
I've seen her work.
Yeah, her energy is amazing. Like anybody who's not experienced Wiella is missing out. Every creative who she's ever asked to do something with and they refuse or they didn't do it, they are missing something amazing from this girl. And because I'm like, why isn't she like the biggest thing in Ghana? Wiella is just amazing, and I think that's what we need to project her as. And I'm so proud to have her do a song with me called I Believe in Africa.
Amazing stuff.
Yes.
AU Day.
Yes.
Today, it's actually falling on a day where we are reeling from all the effects of flooding. And June isn't even here. The scenes, the international media would probably see. But the past 2 days, it's horrible.
Yeah.
What are your general thoughts? I mean, you are the people who put what happens into music.
Yeah.
What are your general thoughts? 2022 Accra.
So I would say, yeah, it's quite devastating what we are seeing. But then again, media, like, we shouldn't project. Like, there's a lot of, I think we've come to believe, people have the idea or the mind that negative publicity sells. Well, also positive sells. You know, I'll put example, like whatever we are seeing now, it needs to be worked on, we get it. But at the end of the day, when we project these bad things about our continent, Africa, we have to project the good sides of it too. Because, you know, like people are going through stuff. Like people lost, you know, I feel for the market women, like they lost good services. But I think we as a country, or the leaders who are leading us, to actually look into finding better ways and means into fixing our problems. You get what I'm saying? You know, I watched the news. I mean, I watched news yesterday. Even I was watching it, and I heard somebody say, we in place, and we are okay. We have bigger gutters and stuff, but we do it and we leave it, but we have to maintain it. It's maintenance. It's nothing else but maintenance. If every week, or let's say every week, you give somebody a job, it's creating jobs. You give somebody the job to say, okay, you know what? People will create dirt. It will be dirty, but every week we will clean it. It's not going to be. I miss the days when I grew up in Choco. Every weekend, we take shovels and we clean the gutters.
Go for tankasi, Baba.
Oh, you know,
Yeah.
and that's the life we miss. Because if we imagine we continue doing that, it will change things. You know.
We are looking for solutions.
Yeah.
Yes, we are looking for the disconnect.
So that's where I think it is. We lost all of that, and I think if we start cleaning up after ourselves and creating bigger drainage systems, you know, because we are growing. Before the population was less, now we are more, so we need to go back and do it. I think that's the solution for me.
I don't know if Wiela has dropped a call, but if Wiela is there. Wiela, are you still on the line? Yes. Wiela, I'm sure you've been following the floods and what's happening in Accra and parts of Ghana as well. You're very, very vocal when it comes to societal issues and airing your concerns. What are your thoughts about what's happening? And it's just the beginning of the rainy season. We haven't entered June yet. We'll get Wiela. So what's in the pipeline now that we've premiered I Believe in Africa? How far are we taking it? We'll get Wiela back. We're having issues with the audio, but she'll get back. Chrissy?
I Believe in Africa, I feel it's a project. It's a whole project that we are doing. It's not, you hear the song, you see.
Okay, let's listen to Wiela's thoughts. Yeah, Wiela.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Yes, Wiela. What are your thoughts? Yesterday,
I have seen the videos, I read the social media, I see the TV, and it's a big disgrace to us. It's a shame. We keep getting the same things happening to us. These same places are flooded. We have to do things for ourselves rather than always looking for someone to blame. We know the right thing to do. Stop dumping rubbish and things in places that will cause flood. Let's learn to accept, work, be honest with ourselves. We know the right things to do. Let's do them. Let's change our attitude. Let's help ourselves. When you help yourself, it's very obvious to the world that you are doing your part. Then you have the power in your voice to talk to the leaders to come and continue. But when we all try to find someone to blame, that's our problem. And every time I see the flood happening, we all know that we are not doing something right. Yeah. We need to do the right thing. We need to change our way of thinking. Oh, government to come and do this. Is this person's job? Is this person's? No. We are all government. We just decided to choose one person to lead. But the person should serve us. And having said that, our leaders should be serving us. You are not there to be worshipped. When you come into power, you make promises. Fulfill those promises. You are not voted into power to be worshipped. You are voted into power to serve the people. But it looks like when they are in there, everybody is thinking about their pockets and then hoarding and stealing and all that. When you do these things, you make all of us angry and we all refuse to do the little that we can do in our community to make Ghana a better place. But having said that, let's all channel our energy into positive thinking. Let's, our leaders, please do your service. You are not there to be worshipped. And to my fellow Ghanaians and everybody, for me, I'll do my part. And I do my part, and I hope you all do your part. Let's all do small, little drops of water, they say, makes a mighty ocean. So, but this flood happening, we really have to help ourselves and come together and find a permanent solution. We know the right thing to do. Let's change our mentality and we'll be fine.
Thank you, Wiela, and very passionate about that. We know the right thing to do. Okay, so let's come back to I Believe in Africa. We all believe in Africa.
Yeah, we do.
We believe in Africa.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so are we looking to see a concert? How far is this going to go?
I mean, this project is infinite. When I say that, there's a lot more lined up with this, but we can't disclose it of it yet. It's just, I mean, you'll be the first to know, but I mean, there's a lot more to happen. It's the project. It's not the song. You know, you see the visuals, you see everything, but we have other projects lined up with it. So we believe like it's a whole thing. So I know people are definitely gonna hear a lot more from this project than just one song.
Okay, so someone sent a message and wants to know that because you sent it to South Africa, are you going to have other acts from across Africa join this song?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's not, this is a global song. It's not just, you know, we center it, or if you see the video, you see the kids holding all the flags of Africa. It was all the flags. So this is a global song. For, you know, we could have artists from, you know, America, Europe, everywhere jumping on this song. Because we believe Africa is where it all started, and this is where we are. So we need to channel the energy out there, letting people know that this is what we believe in.
Right. Which part of filming, I believe in Africa, was most exciting for you?
I would say the part where I was teasing Wiala, the part where some song studios, shouts to my brother Casey Moore, he shot through. Like he directed the video, but he made the guy go through Wiala's hair. You know, you see in the video where you know she had that hair. It was so fun because I kept making fun of her, and then also the part of the kids. The kids were lovely working with. Yeah,
I like it when you guys come on here and you talk about the project you are working on and the excitement. We're wishing you success on this musical journey.
Thank you.
Final words, and it's on all streaming platforms, I believe.
Yes, it's on all. It just dropped today, so it's on all streaming. It's on Facebook.
First time airplay here on Breakfast Show. First time airplay. First time airplay, guys.
And it's on Wiala's YouTube, my YouTube. Have it also on Facebook, all the channel. It's out there, and the links are out there too, so people could check it out and share. This is something amazing from Ghana, so we would love your support. Thank you. Yep.
Thank you. And on social media, where do we find you?
It's actually Kwesi Official.
It's Kwesi Official, guys.
QWECI Official. Yeah.
We had Wiala do a part. You do your part as well. You think I was going to let you off the hook? Nah, man. Nah.
I would love to sing Wiala's part, but you know. Yenara Yassasini. This is our land.
Yeah, man.
Atanga no atangare.
That's Wiala's part. Thank you, Kwesi. Thank you, Wiala. Wiala, where do we find you on social media? Hey, for your fans to follow and get updates.
You can find me on social media at Wiala, WIYAALA. Every platform. The music is on Facebook. All the music platforms across the whole wide world.
Yumma. Thank you.
And I also want to say a very big thank you to the King for allowing us to go into his palace and also being featured in the music video. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I've had amazing.
And I have a name in Funsi. My name is Bayobo.
You are dead body. Now you are Kwesi. Oh, you are what again?
Bayobo. Wiala gave me that name.
What does it mean?
King of the market.
King of the market.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you pass. I know why I think you pass. Because you bring us chocolates. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Wiala. Thank you, Kwesi, for bringing us the visuals to I Believe in Africa. Hey, guys, it's streaming today. It's airborne today, so you can find it everywhere. And follow Kwesi on social media. Follow Wiala on social media. Follow GTV Breakfast on social media. Everywhere. Thank you, guys. Catch a repeat of the show again at 11 p.m. on GTV. A great day. Happy AU Day to you guys. Bye.